Hey there, fellow citizen of the internet. Welcome to the Moses Kabandana Podcast. Today, I have with me Olivier Mankind. I hope I have pronounced that last name right. Welcome to the Moses Kabandana Podcast.
Thank you very much for having me, Moses. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. So for those that are listening, this is a conversation that I am most definitely useless in this department, and it is the department of diet, and more specifically, plant-based diet. And so as Oliver tries to walk us through his journey of the transformative journey of his plant-based diet, I'm going to try to learn a little bit more about who Oliver is, in addition to his how diet has played a role into who he is today. So Oliver, give us a quick overview of how plant-based diet changed your life, and then we're gonna dive a little bit more deeper into the nuances of your journey.
Yeah, so basically, like you just said, I adopted a plant-based nutrition. It was in 2016. And just by adopting that, I had lots of chronic diseases. And by just adopting that plant-based nutrition, I was able to reverse all my chronic diseases. And I was able to lose 77 pounds by just doing that. And this has completely transformed my life, my health, and the way I see the world. And that's why I decided to share this experience to other people so that they, in turn, can be able to transform their lives, because I really do want my brothers and sisters to be in good health.
77 pounds. That's a lot of weight. How over how long? How long of a period?
And in 9 months.
Wow. Okay. Now we're talking. That's bananas. Okay. So whenever I would classify that as going for one, well, how much were you waiting before?
I was waiting 220.
220. Okay. So 220 minus 77. I'm really terrible in math. So whatever that is, in 9 months, in my book, that's going from, let's say, one extreme to another in a relatively short period of time. One, what did that do to your clothes? What did that do to your ability to breathe? Can you touch on that?
Yes. Basically, what happened is that when I was overweight, because when you look at my weight and my height, if you look at the BMI, which is the BMI chart, you will see that I was overweight, because my BMI was 32. And if your BMI is over 30, you class as overweight. So by that time, I was always tired, always tired. For example, on the day that I had to go to work, I will drag myself out of bed. And at my last place of work, I was working in a basement. So all the time I had to go upstairs, and I was always out of breath. And on the day when I had to, I was not working, I would sleep until 1 p.m. because I was so tired. And basically, this lifestyle have changed completely my way of breathing, my way of being. When I wake up in the morning, I'm full of energy. I don't feel tired. And basically, it's like day and night for me. It's like day and night. I've completely transformed all the stuff that I was doing. And the clothes that I had was too big. Now I've gone down very down on that department.
Okay, and I guess let's start with how did you end up at this 220? How tall are you?
5'6".
5'6". Okay. So
I'm not
5'6",
really tall. Yeah.
220. Okay, yeah, that's okay. So, but now that we know where you were at before you started the weight loss journey, let's go all the way back to some baby Oliver action. Where were you born? How many siblings do you have? How many, like, how was the household life like?
Yes, so I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I've got a brother and two sisters. And so when I was growing up, basically at the time when I was born, there was no computer games, no video games. So we were forced to play outside all the time. We were running around, climbing trees, playing football and stuff like that. So we were really, really in movement, which is different from the kids of this day who are stuck in front of the computers and stuff. But for us, it was always outside. And I even remember when I was young, I would wake up maybe, especially during the summer holiday, I will wake up maybe at 7, at 8, I will be outside playing with my friends, and I will only come back maybe at 6. All the time we were playing, or I would just come back very quickly at 12, just to eat quickly and then go back again. So that's how my life was when I was growing up.
Okay, wow. So we have a relatively similar upbringing as far as how much time we spent outside. So I grew up in Mozambique, and coming inside was the punishment, right? So if you did something that wasn't good, you were punished by coming inside. Being outside was life, right? So all we did was climb trees, throw rocks, get in trouble all the time. And school was only 4 hours long. So you either had like 7:30 a.m. to about 12:30 p.m. or 1 p.m. to about 4 p.m. So you had one of those two chunks, and then outside of that, you were getting in trouble and climbing rocks and whatnot. So okay. So similar upbringing there, and you spent a lot of time playing, a lot of time moving, right? So expending energy. What do you remember? What your diet was like?
Yes, at that time, my diet was practically the same that I had when I became big, but the difference was that I was not eating too much animal product, practically not much dairy product, and not much processed food as well. So I was eating all this food. It was minimal, and I remember we was mostly eating whole food. And that's why when I was growing up, I was very lean. It's only when I left my country, I went first to South Africa. I spent a year over there, and then I came to the UK, and that's when my problem started. I started to put on weight, and
yeah. And how old were you when you came to the UK?
When I left, when I came to the UK, I was 30.
Okay. So you were my age. You were my age when you came to the UK. Okay, so I left Mozambique when I was basically 16, right? And so okay, interesting. So when would you say this is like a long shortcut here, but what would you say was the biggest contributor to you going from being lean to being 220? The biggest contributing factor?
Yeah, the biggest contributor was basically the food that I was eating, because when I came to the UK, I was exposed to a lot of animal products. So at every meal, I had to have some kind of animal product. In the morning, you will have maybe some sausages, some bacon, some hot dogs, salami and stuff like that. At noon, you will have maybe some chicken, some fish. At night, you will have, meat. So at every meal, I had to have some kind of animal product. And the dairy product was too much as well. I would have milk, I would have cheese, I would have ice cream. I would have all this kind of food, and especially the processed food as well. And I had developed a lot of bad eating habits. For example, I would eat until midnight. I would have my bottle of Coca-Cola with some biscuit and stuff like that. And that's why I got into trouble. I had loads and loads of chronic diseases. I was suffering from high blood pressure, massive headaches every day or every other day. I had dandruff, chest pain, back pain, abscesses, and a lot of dental problems with all the bad eating habit that I had. And I was also suffering from acid reflux. And like I've just told you as well, I was tired all the time. So that's it's the food which contributed to all my bad health.
Okay, okay. So quick tangent. When was the last time you went back to Congo?
In fact, I went this year into 2024 because I lost my dad. I lost my dad in February, so I went to bury him.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Okay, was that the first time in a long time?
No, I went in 2008, and then
Okay,
2018,
okay, yeah.
and 2024.
And okay, of the were there people that also came from the same society that you did into the UK that were not able to gain that much weight or be affected by the new diet? Do you know?
As far as I'm concerned, no. All my
Really?
friends, all the people that I've known, all of them, without exception, have put on weight. With
Wow.
no exception. All of them.
That is interesting. That's really interesting to hear. Okay. Okay. Huh. I'm pretty thin, I have the opposite problem, which is the weight gain. It's really really hard to gain weight for me. I lose weight really really easily, and so I have to have a different mindset, right? As far as weight gain, it's not necessarily better, right? It's like the opposite end of the this bad side of diet, right? So if you eat a lot of junk food, a lot of not so good diet for you, and you are at a caloric surplus, you're gonna gain weight, bad weight, and it's not gonna be good for you. And if you are malnourished and undernourished, right, that's not good either, right? So I'm on this malnourished side of the equation, or undernourished side of the equation. I don't quite know what the difference is between the two. Okay, um, what what made you go, okay, something needs to change about my weight, or maybe not even about your weight, like something needs to change? And then what was the process of identifying, one, what is it that needs to change, and two, what are the practical steps that you needed to implement in order for change to take place?
Yeah, so what happened is that my weight was not a problem for me, even though I was overweight. It was not a problem because I'm coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and over there, being overweight is a sign of status. Basically, I've never seen someone trying to lose weight and stuff like that. So for me, my weight was not even a problem. It's just the way I was feeling. Because I had massive headaches every day or every other day. And in
Okay.
fact, I had to have some painkillers in my wallet all the time. I was suffering from high blood pressure and all the diseases that I've told you. And I didn't know what to do. So I went to the doctors like everybody will do. And the doctor told me that I will be on medication for the rest of my life. But at that time, I didn't know what I know now. But instinctively, I said, no, I can't take medication for the rest of my life. So I refused. I declined that. And he asked me, okay, what are you going to do? I said, okay, I'm going to join a martial art club so that maybe I will be able to try to get my blood pressure down. And I did try that for 4 years and nothing changed. So I was just buying over-the-counter medication and nothing was working. And it's just that one day I was watching an Indian yogi on YouTube. And that's the guy I've been following him for quite some time. And when I was watching him on that day, it was a certain Wednesday, I watched him and he suggested that by stopping eating animal product, it was possible to reverse 70% of the chronic diseases. And because at that time my health was pretty bad, I said, okay, I'm not losing anything. I'll try that.
Right,
So
right.
it was a Wednesday that I watched that program. On Thursday, I went to work. When I came back, I asked my wife to cook me my last meal of meat. And on Friday, I went cold turkey. And
Yeah,
that's not what I advise people to do
yeah,
because
yeah.
the following week it was horrendous. My
Mm.
symptoms got worse. I had a massive headache for 3 days that I've never had in my entire life. I had more cold sore. My joints started even to ache even more. And even my wife asked me to stop because that was not good. But I said, no, I'm going to continue to do that. And after a week, all these detox symptoms completely disappeared. I'm starting to feel a lot of mental clarity, lots of energy. And 4 months into changing my way of eating, I went back to the doctor who told me that I would be on medication for the rest of my life, and my blood pressure was completely gone. And like I've told you, after 9 months, I was able to lose 77 pounds. All my chronic diseases went away. I've had no problem anymore. And since I changed my way of eating since 2016, up to this day, after 8 years, I've not been sick a single day. And for the past 9 years, I've not taken a single pill. And I've also been able to really slow down or reverse my aging process, because a lot of people, when they see me, they think that I'm in my late 20s, but I'm actually 54. So that's how I've been able to reverse
amazing.
the way I'm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's, well, I have to ask this. What was the last meal?
My last meal was, I think it was meat, but the all the stuff that I had, I can't remember. I
Okay.
can't remember. Maybe it
Okay.
was some, but I'm sure it was some African food.
So how, well, I guess, did your wife also join you in this diet?
Yes, but when I started the diet, I told them, her and my kids,
Right.
I told them that, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to ask you to follow me.
Yeah.
I don't want that. If you want to follow me, that's fine, but I'm not going to force you. So after 2 weeks, my wife saw that the change was pretty good in me, and she went on that as well. And for her, she was even able to lose 99 pounds
Wow.
that she was
Okay.
able to lose. And after a month, we sat our kids and we told them that, okay, we need to go vegan or plant-based for the entire family. Obviously, they were not happy, but they had to follow that because we are the parents.
Yeah.
And basically, we went all of us into that change. And even for my kids now, they thank me for that, because all the chronic disease that they had as well was completely gone. For example, I've got my son. He had eczema for 11 years. We saw doctors, they prescribed all sorts of creams, and there were no changes. But when we adopted this plant-based diet, it only took 2 weeks for his entire eczema to disappear completely.
Wow.
And I've also got my daughter. She was maybe 2 to 3 times a year, she will suffer from the flu. And sometimes she will even lose her voice. But after adopting this plant-based diet,
She's
it's
fine.
completely gone. So
Wow.
now
Okay.
they saying thank you, Dad, for that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's a lot of amazing stuff to hear. So to those that are listening, and yeah, or those that know me, I really don't know much about dieting. I just if I'm hungry, I eat. You know, whatever's there, it's there.
Yeah.
I do like meat. There's something in me that is like, there is no way I would ever give up on meat, right? And the excuse that I can give myself is that the good God Almighty made me with the ability to chew on some meat and digest it, and so God damn it, I will. Right? But with that aside, though, it's clear that at the very least for you and your household, right, having a plant-based diet has had, would you say, no negatives, or at the very least, the plant-based diet has given you and your family a lifestyle that is worth whatever the downsides are, right?
Yeah. So basically, I cannot see any downside from adopting this plant-based diet. I can't see one, because, for example, for me, like I've just said, for the past 8 years, I've not been sick a single day, not even a headache. This is
Right.
incredible.
That's
And
amazing.
at home, for example, we don't have any medication. There's no medication at home because me and my kids, my wife, we don't get sick anymore. So that's
Wow.
that's a
Wow.
lot.
No,
a lot.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And not only that, but also your future, your wife's future, the future of your kids was laid out already for you, as far as the different medications that you're going to have to take, how often you're going to have to see the doctor. I mean, it's just, and all of that are expenses, and at the very least, non-enjoyable parts of life when there is like an alternative, right? So not only did you make your life better right now, and the life of your family better right now, you also just saved yourself cheapers. I don't even know how many dollars down the road. So okay, now you were able to convince your wife to get on board. You were able to get, both of you were able to get your kids on board. What about friends and distant family?
Unfortunately, for my friends and my family, they've all refused to follow me, except for my brother.
Okay.
He's the only one who accepted that. And for him as well, he was able to lose 73 pounds.
Wow.
And he was just like me. He was suffering from high blood pressure. He was pre-diabetic. And he had the psoriasis, which is a skin condition. And he had that for 8 years. Yeah, and the doctor told him that he will have that for the rest of his life. And he was put on very strong steroid. But when I introduced him to this plant-based nutrition, all his chronic diseases are completely gone, and especially the psoriasis that the doctor told him that he will have for the rest of his life. And basically, he has, just like me, has not been sick for the past, because he followed me a year after. For the past 7 years, he's not been sick a single day as well. But apart from him, my mom, my brothers and my sisters, my cousins, my aunties, all of them, they said no, they don't want to follow that, even though they can see that just me and my brother are in a very good health.
Okay. Wow. Now, to the degree that you know how this works, like do you think this is heavily what do you say? I guess DNA based, not DNA based, but like yeah, DNA based. Like is this more of a family thing? Is this more like, do you think like the average individual would also benefit from a plant-based diet, or do you come from the side that it's like there is a certain type of individuals that would benefit from it, and there's a certain type of individuals that would not benefit from it? Like what does that look like to you?
No, I don't think that there's somebody who cannot benefit from that, because when we look at animals, they've got the species-specific diets. And I don't think that we as a race are different. We have a specific diet as well. And for me, when we look, because I've done a lot of research and all that, basically human beings, we are herbivores. And to be more precise, we are frugivores. And when we look, for example, at the gorilla, with whom we share 99% of the same DNA, which means that our digestive tract are practically the same. But what do gorilla eat? They eat fruit, vegetables, and tender root. They do not eat meat.
True.
So we are just like frugivores. And what makes it difficult for people is their mindset. When you already say that, oh, it's going to be difficult for me to stop meat, or it's not going to work, then yes, it's not going to work. But if you come with an open mind, surely it will work, because I've got a client who works with me, and all of them have been able to reap the benefits
of it.
When they put their heart into it, they follow what I'm telling them. All of them, with that exception, they've been able to lose weight. They've been able to get better with their health.
Wow. For some reason, my battery is gonna die faster than I thought. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to try to wrap this up faster than I wanted to. But for sure, I'm gonna have to have you back on for like a round 2 and a round 3. So as we're coming to a close here, if people are interested in making that change in their lives, like right now, what are the practical steps that they can take?
Yes, if they want to make the change, basically they need, first of all, because I've got a program which is called the 3-step weight loss and wellness program. So they've got 3 steps. The first step is to change their mindset, because the mindset is very, very important. If you don't have the right mindset, basically it's not going to work. And what people need to do, they need to adopt a winning mindset where they say to themselves that it's going to work. And they need to have, they need to use the white power and not the willpower, because with the willpower they will fail. They need to find a good reason for them to be able to make the change. The second pillar is to adopt a plant-based nutrition where they eat fruit, vegetables, legumes, grain, nuts, and seed. This food, they've got lots of fiber, and when you eat them, basically what's going to happen is that they're going to make you full very quickly, and you will tend to eat less frequently, and you will be able to lose weight and basically increase or make your immune system very strong. And the last part is to be able to adopt intermittent fasting, because in our society we've been told that we need to eat constantly. But when you adopt intermittent fasting, basically it's going to radically change your life as well. Because when we're not digesting food, the body will be able to heal and cleanse. But as soon as you start eating, that process is stopped. And what will happen as well is that every time when you have something to eat, the body will produce insulin. And insulin will age you quicker if you're constantly eating. And in the absence of insulin, the body will produce what is called the human growth hormone, which is there to basically enables the cells to grow in a good way. And as well, when you're not eating, you are doing intermittent fasting, the body will go into a process which is called autophagy, where the body eats dead and dying tissues. And all this will really make your immune system very strong. And basically, that's the steps that people need to follow if they would like to transform their health, just like me.
At the very least, try, right? Like, what do you have to lose? Like you said. So if you're packed with medication, you have chronic pain, you have diseases that you can't quite justify, right? Well, I guess there's very few diseases that you can justify, but what else do you have to lose? If all it takes is to try a plant-based diet and you haven't tried it yet, then I think you hit the nail on the head here. Is like, give it a try, especially if you tried all kinds of other stuff, right? And so that is a very important message that I think you're trying to get across here, and I stand by that. I agree with that. Now, I'm not gonna make the switch, right? I like to eat meat, and just for we might actually keep talking until the computer dies. That's totally fine. So I lived in part of this mentality, right? Comes from having lived in a refugee camp for a year and a half, 2 years, with no electricity or nothing, and every little chance that I had to come by some meat, I took it, right? Because meat didn't come around that often, right? So we had a forced vegan diet, right? We didn't call it vegan. It was just, there wasn't a label to it, right? You plant-based because it's hard to find meat, right? And if you do find meat, well, you don't have a fridge, you don't have electricity, you can't keep it for long, right? So I was an involuntary vegan for quite some time, and I don't want to go back to it. So, but to your to the point that you make though, if your life is suffering, if the life of those around you are suffering, if you cannot get out of bed, right? If you're on medications, all because of the things that you put in your mouth, right? And you don't want to change that, at some point stupidity has entered the equation, and you need to wake up to it, right? You need to change how, at the very least, change how you eat. So thank you for bringing that message to us here. And if people want to learn more about you, where can they find you?
Yes, if people want to learn more about me, they can go on my website, which is oliviermankondo.com. That's oliviermankondo.com. And over there, they will be able to see my work. And if, for example, if they want to purchase my book, which is The Plant-Based Nutrition, How It's Going to Change Your Life, which is on sale on Amazon. And if they go on my website, they can still have that as well. But on my website, it costs less, and you will be able to have as well for bonuses. And for people who want to work with me, they can schedule a discovery call with me. On the discovery call, we're going to go through to know their current lifestyle, to know why they got stuck, what's the problem, what they had, the eating habit, and all these things. And we going to see how we're going to apply those 3 steps that I've said: the mindset, the plant-based nutrition, and the intermittent fasting. And basically, we're going to go through all this so that we can solve their problems once and for all. And we're going to see as well if there's a good fit, then we'll be able to work together, and I will be able to help them to achieve, basically to lose weight and to basically live a disease-free life. So that's how people can get in touch with me.
Awesome, awesome. I just noticed that I butchered your name at the beginning. It's not Oliver, it's Olivier en français. So, hey,
Yes.
thank you so much for coming to the Moses Kabandana Podcast. I'd love to have you for a part 2. I had to kind of cut it short. Computer's coming is like dying for some reason, even though it's plugged in. But you've brought a lot of good knowledge here. I like that you were able to, one, make a change, right? That's typically the hardest part is deciding that you need to change, and then taking the steps to do so, right? And then bringing your family with you. You know what I mean? That's amazing. That's amazing right there. So hopefully I can have you back on here. But for now, it's been an honor having this conversation with you, and I cannot wait for our next conversation. Awesome. How do
Okay.
you?
Thank you very much for having me. I really, really appreciate the stuff that you've done for me so that I can share my message to everybody. Thank you very much.